All right, getting ready to go. Hope your day's been going good. Hello, everybody. It's meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you as we're going to talk a little bit about some weather making its way through the northern plains. A big slap of cold air is rocking its way out of Canada, heading through, bringing a few showers, a couple of rumbles of thunder. Some of those storms have been severe out in the Rocky Mountain states. We'll go over that as well. And we're going to talk about the chill that'll be left in the air and some Canadian wildfire smoke plowing in behind this system. All of that's coming up on this version of Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, thanks for joining me. And once again, as we head into the evening hours, we're expecting our conditions to really start to change. We are already seeing a much cooler flow of northwesterly wind here in the northern plains. Temperatures are on their way down. We're going to get started with a look at that radar. But first, let's go over the hour-by-hour forecast details. And as is always the case here on Hutch's Weather, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on Facebook, drop me a note. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm watching for that. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'd love to have you hit the subscribe button and, well, join the conversation there as well. Drop a comment. Let me know where you are watching from, and then we'll get to your questions regionally and nationally here as we go through as well. I want to point out the forecast first for the northern plains, and to do that, let's go ahead and take a look at, woo-wee, what do we got going on here? Here it is. We got some cold air plowing down from parts of Manitoba right now, and that cold air will be working its way into the Dakotas as we go through the overnight hours, northern Minnesota as well. Now, this model guidance is showing that as we go through the 9 o'clock hour, we had our first cold splash come through here. That's the leading edge of the cold air through Aberdeen. Now, there's going to be some showers sneaking into southeast North Dakota and the eastern part of North Dakota as well. And also up into the arrowhead of Minnesota. But this back second wave is from a secondary cold surge of air that's heading our way. And it's forecasting a chance for some spotty showers of rain, locally heavy in places, not expected to be severe with this. So from the Brainerd Lakes area through the I-94 corridor here in North Dakota, a chance for some spotty thunderstorms and showers of rain. Behind it, some pretty breezy northwesterly winds will continue into the overnight hours. Continuing a look at this, we'll see those showers diminish a little bit as we head into your daybreak hours, but that won't be the case for the Great Lakes area there, as heavy rain will be south of Thunder Bay heading into Marquette on the UP as we take a look at southern Minnesota, Minneapolis, and all the way down toward the I-90 corridor there, having a chance for some showers. Elsewhere nationally, we're seeing some heavy rain in the Gulf Coast states. That will continue there. More tropical weather will be working its way in and looping its way in as we go through the overnight hours. So what is spotty showers and thunder showers from the west coast of Florida through the Gulf Coast states will become more widespread as we go through the overnight hours. This is as we go into the day. Let me go ahead and put the timestamp up here. My apologies for that. This will be about 9 o'clock tonight. Now, as we go through the overnight hours, let's give you that national view. Albuquerque and New Mexico seeing some heavy showers of rain. Very quiet in the Pacific Northwest. And advancing this through will show this flow of northwesterly wind bringing showers back to the northern plains as we go into your day. Again, I want to turn on the model timeline here. As we go into your day on Friday and head into the, midnight time frame. So some nighttime showers tomorrow in the northern plains, more scattered showers across the main cool front. This will bring some cooler relief to parts of the central plains, Nebraska and Kansas as well. And the rain will continue quite heavily down in the Gulf Coast states as we go through there. So getting up into the northern plains here, Winnipeg all the way south into the Lake of the Woods area, Grand Forks, North Dakota, a chance for some strong showers of rain here and there as we go into your Friday morning very early, and those will breeze through very quickly. Kind of a secondary surge of shower activity working its way as we go into the early hours of Friday. Now, I mentioned as well that these showers that will be making their way through the region are also going to be accompanied by some smoke. Let's start with a look at the northern plains and take a look at the smoke forecast. And we have some wildfires up in Canada that continue to burn. Those wildfires are bringing that chance. We're going to look at the near surface smoke on this particular model. And one thing you will notice as we go, I'm going to go pull up a model run here that goes out just a little bit farther in time. The red colors, higher concentrations of smoke at the surface. In fact, the air quality alert has been issued for portions of Minnesota for this smudge that will be working its way across from the Canadian fires. Now, notice that we do have those smoky conditions expected to continue pushing through North Dakota tonight as well. These drift south as we go into the morning hours on Thursday. This is Thursday daybreak. Heavy amounts of smoke central Minnesota into South Dakota. That moves through and it will be a little bit of a relief, but it will not last forever as we take a look at the upper level smoke. We'll still be seeing a train, if you will, of smoke from wildfires making their way through as we go a little bit farther out in the forecast period. So this cool, drier air working its way in will bring the smoke behind the cold front and then a little bit of a break. Could likely be returning, though, as we close out the end of the weekend. With winds returning from the south, it's a sure bet we'll probably be seeing more of it here in the northern plains. Let me go ahead and check and see if we do have any questions. Thank you so much for your sharing of support through stars on Facebook. And, well, for those of you watching on YouTube, I sure appreciate that as well. Let me double check and see what we got for questions on here, trying to make sure I'm keeping up with your requests. Brenda's asking for my not please, and oh no, that's definitely windy, says Scott in the beach area. With the smoke just pushing through. Again, we're getting Bemidji reports as well, some smoke making its way in there. Hi from Jamestown, says Linda Brown. Ashley, North Dakota, checking in. Arlen, it's good to have you on board as well. So thanks so very much for joining me. If you do have a question, make sure you let me know. But let's go ahead and take a look now at what we have going on elsewhere across, well, the nation. Now, how much rain are we expected from this? Let's start with the northern plains. We're going to go to the model data here once again, and then we'll look at the current radar and show you where things are happening right now, because we do have a few areas with some thunder shower activity. But for now, we're going to switch this over to a look at total precipitation amounts. And this is an hourly updated model. I do not think there's any forecast model out there as a meteorologist who's been practicing this stuff for 30 years that does a consistent job time after time of tracking individual thunderstorm cells. And for that reason, when you look at forecast guidance, that's why I call it guidance and not a forecast, because this guidance will give us an idea of how heavy the rain may be, but the precise location of it, sometimes, well, it can be a little bit deceiving by what you see on these forecast models. So let's just start with that. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast rainfall amounts by the time we get to Friday in the evening. In the northern plains, moving out of Winnipeg, we'll be seeing some areas of spotty heavy rain. Now, where you see the blues, there'll be some showers tracking through as we go through your day on Thursday, and then again on Friday morning, as we showed you on the models. What do these colors mean? Let me show you. Check this out. Roseau County, way up there by the international border, seeing 1/10 or 2/10 of an inch of rain on average. Now, as we go up near Winnipeg, maybe Brandon, Manitoba, in between, we could see a few areas that get some gully washers out there with rainfall amounts over 1 inch of rain. That's 2.54 centimeters for those of you who are counting in the Northland up there in parts of Manitoba. Otherwise, we're going to get these skinny little trails of showers associated with the convective type of rain showers that will be pushing their way through on your Thursday. Notice most of this will be happening across greater Minnesota. Speaking of which, if you happen to be in the Bemidji area, Babe the Blue Ox might need the old umbrella. And if not, Paul Bunyan, he'll be there close by in tow. Nearly 1 inch of rain will be possible in a few spots under some heavier showers here or there. Now, it does look like it's going to be rather hit and miss, but we did see those heavier showers moving toward the UP. Look at Houghton. Wow, some heavy rain potential up in the Northland of Michigan. We're talking anywhere from a few tenths of an inch to much more than that, over 1 inch, maybe even 2 inches of rain in portions of the UP as we go through. Looks like we'll see some heavy showers and thunder showers associated with this very cold air working its way through Ohio as a cold front works its way through there. Under the thunderstorms near Columbus, we could see some heavy gully washers there. And the big winners will be with the convective currents coming off of the Gulf of Mexico associated with more tropical weather there. Look at Houston. Look at Lafayette. Look at Morgan City, and look over here as we head into places like New Orleans. As we go to Morgan City, look at this. New Orleans, 2 to 6 inches of rain behind my skull over here. Let me move this over. There we go. As I get my skull out of the way, 2 to 5 inches of rain on the eastern side of Louisiana. But you get into western Louisiana, Morgan City, 7 inches. As we get into Texas, out of Lake Charles and points west of there, anywhere from 2 to, well, over the seas, The model's forecasting the potential for 14 inches of mosquito slapping moisture out there. And then Houston, as we get into your area of Texas, we'll see 1 to 4 inches of rainfall in those areas. So that is a look at what we have going on across the nation with regards to the rainfall. There is going to be some Rocky Mountain moisture working its way through the basically right along the Continental Divide. So anywhere from the Colorado Springs area and points west and west of Denver on the I-70 corridor, moving into the high plains, all the way out in the eastern plains of Colorado. We could see some La Junta showers as well. So those showers will be between now and Friday as well. That's your forecast. Look how dry and quiet things will be along the west coast of the United States, closing out the work week. Now let's take a look at the temperatures with regards to this system, because it is a little on the chilly side. We're going to pull up some national temperatures up in the northern plains, and you're going to see here, well, let's not use that. Let's go ahead and go back to the model, because I'm having fun here and I want to pull up some modeled temperatures. That's one of the fun things as we take a look at these models. Let's go out even a little bit farther. I'm going to pull up a different model. We're going to go here. We're going to go out here. And this will take just a moment to load up. So bear with me while this puppy scrambles through the recipe and starts downloading some of the temperatures that we're going to see. What you're going to notice is in the high country of the Rocky Mountains, we're going to start seeing some mighty chilly temperatures forecast by this hourly updating model in high resolution. Desert heat in the southwest from Las Vegas through, well, the Death Valley area all the way into southern parts of Arizona. And here comes the cool of pool, folks, as we head into the late week time frame here, as we go into Thursday, into Friday, and even Saturday. So this model's showing the big differences across the nation in temperature. First and foremost, as we look into the Gulf Coast states, you can see the onshore flow of moisture around a system just off the shore of Texas. It's bringing that hot, humid air up, wrapping it up, and just dumping buckets of rain in places of Louisiana and Houston. That's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to be very wet. It's hot and dry in the desert Southwest as we go through the forecast period. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of these cool temperatures and give you some magnitude on these temperatures as we go through. To do that, I'm just going to slide the cursor around here as we look at New Orleans as we go through the 1 o'clock time frame in the morning. Let's get to a more realistic time. Not many of you will be out walking the llama at 1 in the morning, but at 7 in the morning around New Orleans, we can expect temperatures as we go into your Thursday morning to look like this. We're talking 80s down there. And then as we go, I'm going to have to zoom in just a little bit farther. There we go. Around near 80 degrees in Houston as well, and around 80 degrees as we look into the areas around Houston, New Orleans, all the way to Mobile. We're expecting that warm air. That humid air makes its way all the way up into the Boot Hill of Missouri as well with near 80 degree readings. What are these blues in the high country in Colorado? Western Colorado will see some 30s out there, folks, and some flaky weather could hit with those showers in the high terrain out there. Well, likely well above about 7,000 to 8,000 feet, but keep that in mind as you go up into the Jackson area and the western Rockies of Wyoming as well. Look at these temperatures sneaking down into those 30s. Down, I saw a 32 pop up there. And then also as we look up to the north, up into parts of North Dakota, as we start out on Thursday morning with some 50s and 40s out there, it's going to be mighty chilly for sure. Now, carry this through the daytime highs, and we're talking about some mighty cool highs in the Arrowhead of Minnesota near Thunder Bay. We're talking 40s, 50s, and even 60s. So 40s up in parts of Quebec, and as we look out on towards Ontario here, and then in the Arrowhead of Minnesota and on the North Shore, around 55 degrees there as we go through the mid-afternoon and evening hours. So it's going to be cold again as we go through. And then that cool pool of air sneaks down, and this is going to be some of the peak of the cold in the northern plains. Do you see this, Sioux Falls? Do you see this, Omaha? This is some refreshing air from the hot and humid air that you've had. Friday, as we go into midnight hour and beyond, it looks like it's really going to get mighty chilly here. Let's go ahead and put this on at about, 11, 12 in the morning. Let's check this out. What are these digits meaning here? As we take a look at the Minot area, we're talking 30s in northern North Dakota, the Botno Hills, 30s as we look down, low 40s as we go down to Sioux Falls. So some refreshing, dry, crisp, and chilly air working its way into the northern plains. All right, I'm going to do a check for some questions. We'll wrap this broadcast up as we have temperatures, and then I also have some exciting news to share with all of you here in just one moment. But let me double check and make sure I don't have any questions going on here. Sherry, thank thanks for your stars. Hi from South Fargo, says Jenna. Good to have you on board. And again, as we look at watching from Otter Tail Lake, beautiful country there, and a nice cool down. Are you a fan of this cooler weather, or would you rather see some warmer weather return? We have that in the forecast as well. Some rain would be nice, wash away some of this smoke, says Deborah. Indeed, it's really been a choking amount of smoke in some parts of the northern plains here. Rick Fox, thanks for your sharing of stars. And Kathy, good to see that Grafton could use some magic rain. We're going to get a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be overly widespread like they're seeing along the Gulf Coast states. Checking also my viewers on the YouTube channel here, and I just got a brand new picture in on my website, hutchesweather.com. Mark, I got your picture. We're going to look at it right now, but first I got to check and see if I've got some questions. Tammy says, thanks for watching from the Fergus area, Tammy. Waiting for the smoke in Fergus. It's going to be there, and it looks to bring some pretty choking conditions. All right, I got to just throw a word out to my friends out there that take the time to go to hutchesweather.com and upload your photos. Check this out. Going to the website, we'll just go ahead and look. Now, we've had a lot of wild weather out here, and with all the smoke in the air, it just provides those gorgeous setting suns. Think of it this way. The ball of burning gas, billions of miles away, millions of miles away, and that thing is basically sending light. Once it hits the atmosphere, when the sun is low in the sky, that sunlight has to travel through thousands and thousands of miles of atmosphere before it reaches our eyes. When it's straight up at noon overhead, there's only about 100 miles of atmosphere that the sunlight makes it through. So that's why sunrises and sunsets are extraordinarily colorful when the atmosphere is filled with schmutz. And that schmutz can be smoke. It can be all kinds of things, pollution. When we get high amounts of wildfire smoke in the atmosphere, we tend to get more oranges and reds bent down towards our eyes. So without further ado, let's check out your photo here. Rural Frazee, Minnesota, with the big old turkey out there. Is world's largest turkey outside Frazee, if you've ever been through the area, for you folks watching elsewhere. Mark, thank you so very, very much. Look at this awesome scene out there, that golden disc setting in the sky out there. Absolutely gorgeous sunset. Thanks so much for sharing, Mark. And now we did see some other ones here. The Callaway area, as that sun gets a little higher, it's traveling through a little bit less atmosphere to get to our eyes. Still orange delight out there, Tiffany, captured in Callaway. Have you seen the northern lights where you live in other parts of the United States? Check out this. This is Buffalo, North Dakota, not Buffalo, New York. You can see them there too. But check out Buffalo, North Dakota. Danny capturing this sky magic. This was on the last day of August. That's right, it's the 31st. And look at that light in the sky out there. You can tell that it was a little bit of longer exposure here because you can see the light on the corn stalks out there. But that's one of the ways you can really get the vibrant photos to show out. Make sure your photo taking equipment, your camera is on a tripod, holding still, and give it a little bit longer exposure time, and that should help you capture some pretty incredible photos there of the northern lights, like this one here in Purim. This Purim shot was also taken at the end of the month of August. Kayla, thank you for sharing. You can see the old Purim water tower there on the Highway 10 corridor through central Minnesota and Lakes Country. Stunning color in the sky. Okay, thanks to everybody for sharing that. Now, I've got some big news to share on Hutch's Weather, and there's a big live announcement coming tomorrow, a Facebook Live, and I'll also stream it so that you can see it on hutchesweather.com. You may need to refresh the page as you get towards 8 o'clock to make sure that you can see the Hutch's Live bar up there. Join the conversation, bring your questions, bring your ideas, because I'm building and shaping Hutch's Weather around your input. For that, I got a message for you right here. The time for the big announcement is here. Hutch's Weather is cruising forward and continues to grow. You won't want to miss this. It's the big announcement this Thursday, September the 5th at 8 p.m. live on Facebook. And don't forget to bring your ideas. All right, so that exciting announcement is coming very soon here, and very excited to be bringing you another step forward in Hutch's Weather, and I hope you can join the live broadcast. If not, you can always get the latest on hutchesweather.com. Now, let's sneak a look at what we have going on with regards to our forecast here in the northern plains. We're looking at Fargo, Minnesota, up into South Dakota and eastern Montana. Let's go. Here it is. Temperatures first thing in your Thursday morning. We're starting to see some pretty cool colors here, folks. Look at those low to mid 40s out there in places like the the oil patch north of Williston. So Crosby, North Dakota, Plentywood, Montana, Scobie. You're going to be seeing some chilly air up there. Minot 48 is not as great unless you really like that crisp chill. And it's coming with a northwest breeze, 10 to 20 miles per hour first thing in the morning. Here in the Red River Valley of the North, we're talking temperatures in the mid-50s to start your day. Still some spotty showers here and there, particularly across northwest Minnesota. And as the model just showed, we could have some renegade showers moving through parts of North Dakota as well. That's how you get your day started. All right, now check it out. Thursday afternoon in the Northern Plains. Look at Minneapolis, 71. You have to look hard for 70s on here, folks. Spotty showers mainly on the Minnesota side of the river in the afternoon and evening, as we showed you on the model. High temperatures in the afternoon will likely be in the 50s in the Arrowhead and along the Iron Range of Minnesota. Red River Valley, only some 60s out there. It's going to be a cool one. Look at Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Great fishing out there. Hey, you know what? Those walleyes will be a nibbling because the temperatures are cooling off. And we'll have some walleye chop on the water with north-northwest winds, 12 to 27 miles per hour in the open country. A few 70s out there in parts of southeast Montana and in central South Dakota for the capital city, Pierre, at 70 degrees. Otherwise, it's going to be a chilly day. Your 7-day planner for the Fargo area, which is Hutch's home stomping grounds. Check it out. Thursday, spotty sprinkles, 69 degrees. And that's going to be another day in the 60s, folks, on Friday as we close out this week on a cool note. Then on Saturday and on Sunday, we start a warming trend after a very cold start. The peak of the cold will be Saturday morning in the FM area, Fargo-Moorhead, 39 degrees. Warming up into the mid-70s, back into the 80s again next week, so we're not done with summer-like temperatures. But I do want to point out a few areas in the Northern Plains on your Saturday morning. We'll see some chance for some spotty areas of frost. Northern Minnesota. It depends on where it's driest, really. We'll keep you posted on that. But when temperatures dip down in the 30s, how low can we go? Here's your record low for Fargo this time of the year. 26? Oh, get out of here with that. I am not ready. Hutch is not ready for that. Okay, let's double check with any questions, see if anybody has any comments. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up this version of Hutch's Weather. Thanks so very much for joining Justin from Thief River Falls. No more smoke. It's been nasty out there. I hear you. That's the way it's looking, though, with that smoke in the forecast. Hi from Ada, Minnesota. Good to have you on, Connie. Thanks so much. Justin just says no snow, please. So it's an all request Wednesday night, and Hutch is here to please. And I'm going to make sure that that snow stays out of the Fargo forecast and the Thief River Falls forecast for you and for you. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I hope to see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time. Live on Facebook, a scheduled event. It's a big announcement. I can't wait to tell you about it right here. Until then, have a wonderful evening. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Remember, you can always find your latest forecast on hutchesweather.com. Make sure that you allow the website to track your location, and it'll get you the forecast information you need. And if there's any warnings in your area, it'll tell you that too. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Have an awesome night.